Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. I'm your host, Captain Yellowfin, and we are continuing our Germany campaign in the newest patch and with the HPP mod. Last time we defeated Poland. We adhered to the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and shared territory as it was agreed in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Right now we are, and of course we also had to deal with the Saarland offensive to the south and west of Frankfurt. And right now the main task is reorganizing our forces for the likely spring offensive against France. And of course dealing with various other problems such as production strategy, intelligence, research, and other potential offensives. We also have to try to get Italy into the Axis, which I understand isn't the case yet. And of course, whoever else is willing and useful as part of the Axis. So let's get started. First of all, let's check out all the problems. We have a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union that we can break on February 19, and with Lithuania that we can break as well in early 1940. That's not an immediate priority. Right now we are reorganizing the front. I have assigned a number of garrison divisions and infantry to deal with the east. This is under the guidance of von Blomberg, which will probably be relieved from command of Oberkommando Ost, as we will probably need him elsewhere. Of course, we're also going to effect a lot of changes in the leadership of our forces. There are definitely some changes due when I'm thinking of the blunder here, and we'll probably also have some high skill commanders that will be more useful in other positions where they are currently. We have troops in foreign territory. Yes, that's from what I can tell, these a total of 3 infantry divisions. What else? Northwest still complains about lack of troop, but I suspect this will soon go away. And then we have a couple of units that are undersupplied. That's definitely true for the infantry divisions that are in foreign territory. Okay, so that's dealing with that. And diplomacy, there's no decision right away to take. There was another problem last time. I blundered the diplomatic decisions just before case White. So I had to load a save game, but it wasn't really, I suppose it wasn't really cheating, because it was just an honest mistake, and it was more about going a historical route, but it wasn't really a big issue, I think. Then as for production, we neglected a build-up of a navy, which when I wasn't playing these past couple of days, I thought about the next steps, the next goals for the campaign, for the German strategy, and I regret that now a little bit, that we completely neglected the naval build-up except for submarines and some upgrades to battleships, because we would actually now, especially when I think about Norway, I think having a bit more in terms of navy would actually be quite useful. That's a little bit of a problem, but we are to an extent dealing with it, mainly by having 3 destroyer flotillas under construction as well as a battleship. And we're also expanding our transport and escort fleets. Especially escorts were running low after a few months of convoy warfare. However, to my surprise, we managed to sustain a pretty large industry. We started out with around, I believe, 200, not sure anymore, but 200 and something available IC. So it's going surprisingly well in terms of, we still have international convoy routes, namely to the US for metal, and to Asia, and eventually even I thought we had trade connections to Chile. I thought we were importing metal from Chile at one point, but it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Now we're exporting to smaller countries. I also see that we're not importing oil from anywhere. I don't remember taking oil off the list of stockpiles to increase, but we shall find out. We're not under a penalty for the oil stockpile, and we're only producing a surplus of 2.40, so it's probably not a very high stockpile. And rares and metal, well, rares is high because we do have a slight penalty. It could be higher, but the real problem is, of course, that we are using 54 units per day, and that is a deficit. It'll last us a while, but eventually we need to do something about it. And then we have a deficit of 30 in metal, and we don't have a penalty, which also is an indication that the stockpile isn't extremely high. And our energy stockpile is growing again after being continuously depleted, as we were aggressively selling energy in order to counterfinance, of course, the large purchases of metal and rares. Right, so that's pretty much all in terms of production. I think that's the main goal. We are also training a few additional divisions, namely 4 armor divisions and 6 infantry divisions. We're also continuing our build-up for nuclear research facilities and a rocket test site. And I think that's pretty much what production will look like for the near future. I can only think of maybe we should think about upgrading a few armor brigades because right now we only have, of course, medium armor. Pretty much the only type of armor brigade that we have deployed. And but our technology in that area is actually not terrible. We are currently a bit ahead of technology, so I think it would be a good opportunity to probably upgrade rather than build medium armor. Of course, I think it can only be done with some reorganization, because the current layout of the armor division is 2 armor brigades, 2 light armor brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, and a truck-towed supply regiment. So what I think will happen is that I'm not sure how many armor divisions we even have. I think we should be at around 10, but probably more than that. There is the 7th Armor Division, 5th and 6th. The 1st Cavalry Division, that's an Austrian cavalry division that was upgraded to a light armor division. There's the 3rd Armor Division and the 9th Armor Division. There's the 1st, the 8th, the 11th and the 10th Armor Division. Fourth and the 2nd. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I think the way to go is to take these 11 and reorganize them. My ideal layout for a medium armor division would be 1 brigade of medium armor and 2 brigades of motorized infantry, and then 1 eventually we can add 1 battalion of tank destroyers. Yep. I think we will do that by reorganizing some of the armor divisions. Anyway, that takes care of production. Now let's look at technology. We are investing a lot into officer ratio, which isn't probably necessary anymore because we're not in active combat right now. I don't expect to be in active combat anytime soon, as we have beaten back the French. So we will actually just fortify or dig in along the Rhine and along the French Maginot Line. And I believe I was also thinking about our offensive plans for spring, and my idea is to organize a breakthrough possibly through Luxembourg or this area, the Dutch-Belgian border region. Obviously the terrain is much easier for armored units in the north. However, we have to cover a bigger distance. Break through the emotional line, I don't really see that happening. So I think the first thing we have to do is take the AI off the theater, the Western theater, because it's doing a very bad job. For some reason, it is deploying divisions outside its assigned theater, which I thought should be prevented by correctly painting the theater. But it doesn't matter. We'll take care of it ourselves now, which also allows us, of course, to take care of the armor reorganization. So armor divisions will go pull them back. First of all, let's find all the armor. Let me check. I'm gonna have to check whether my sound is muted or not. So I defined hotkeys, but I'm not sure whether they work. So let me quickly do that. It doesn't, OBS isn't telling me really. I'm just gonna call the video on, or the stream on my phone. See if I can get sound here. I seem to have sound now. I don't know if that's the case. If that's the case for the beginning of the stream. Let me see. I can. Oh, okay. I just checked using YouTube. I seem to have had sound all the way through. If not, I apologize. I will check again once I end the stream. So maybe the hotkeys aren't really working, which would have been a good thing in this case. Anyway, let's continue. Here we are, of course, moving in a lot of units. Stop all these crazy movements. Okay. And should probably eventually call back these units. I don't think we need them where they are right now. And then we can also go through the Air Force. We have, we're being strategically bombed currently. I think although this is a friendly bombing run, this one clearly isn't. Taking out some of our IC there. Let's cancel some orders. So the north of the Reich is pretty well defended. We shouldn't be ground attacking. Let's give those guys a break and let's use the 5th Air Fleet, Fighter Air Fleet to intercept any sort of enemy bombing. The 6th Air Fleet is an interception. This is air transport, and we have naval bombers. We'll put them on reserve. For now, both wings. We have more naval bombers here. Cancel this. We have one lonely wing of naval bombers, and we have some more fighters. Let's see. Okay, so we have some heavy fighters here. Let's bring these light fighters this way. We'll take the heavy fighters off ground attack duty and we'll use them in air defense row. Let's move close air support closer to the front. We have medium bombers here. Put the worn down air fleet on reserve. We'll leave the other one on attack. Okay, so we have an understrength close air support air fleet. We'll leave them where they are right now. Oh, where are all the fighters? So 4 of our air fleets are here. 1 is here, that's 5. That's pretty much it. Okay. 1 is here. Okay, so let's add up. Fighters are JG. That's 1, 2, 4, 5. I think we have 6 of those. Well, anyway, let's start redeploying some units. So what I really want is these garrison units. Well, being invaded happened to us. How and where? We have lost the effect. Why? Where are we being invaded? This must be a mistake. Or is it because of this province still? Yeah, so we should lose this effect shortly. Once this that's where we annihilated about 7 French divisions. So we'll shortly lose this effect. Yeah, let's think about reorganizing our armor divisions. And how many? So we have let's make sure we have all the armor divisions. We also have some garrison available. We will actually use those and split them up. We got peace through a decision. We were being invaded. I will add horse-towed support brigades to those, and they will serve as pretty good first line of defense. I think we have quite a number of those. Yep, they will end up looking like this: 2 garrison brigades and a horse-towed support brigade. So what I want to do is I want to use these instead of highly trained and valuable infantry as much as possible. will redeploy some motorized infantry to the north. We are still carrying out ground attacks. Yeah, the Moshino line I think is too strong. There's no point. We will reorganize and set up for a proper spring offensive. I also want to move some divisions north to protect the coastal cities. So finally this province was taken back, so we have lost a nice bonus here. But we are again in full control of our territory. We need to decide about, let's see, we need to decide on the upgrades. I think we can start with the first batch here for armor divisions. I think that's what we should do, and then we'll see about the rest. Of course, convoy warfare is ongoing. Currently, we are not, of course, dealing with enemy convoys. We're not attacking any enemy convoys, although we probably should, because all our submarine flotillas have been repaired. So let's see. This is a old submarine. I determined this from the range, only 2,750 kilometers, so that's coastal. I will have class and convoy raid of the coast of eastern Scotland. We have another sea wolf here. That is also coastal. See if we can increase the effectiveness. We have one flotilla operating here. Let's see if we can do something like this. I'm trying to concentrate forces. This is a high skill, but let's see, can we swap out? Oh, we have more sea wolves. Here is a sea wolf. That is a bit more modern. I'm going to have him operate around here. Although yeah. Let's give this a try. What else do we have? Now we have committed 3 flotillas out of 6, so we'll keep the other ones in reserve. I don't know if they will, I guess they will swap out the same way planes swap out, I don't know. We of course are still losing transports. Now I am not sure it is smart to have all these infantry divisions sitting along the Italian border. Certainly not this one. As it does have an engineer battalion, which makes it stronger. There's still one last French division escaping across the border. There are 2 armor divisions. We should probably move north. That seems a bit aggressive, having all these strong infantry divisions so far down south. So I'm not yet sure about the composition and extent of the forces that we should use for France. That is a lot of garrison units here. They will be deployed along the Italian border. This will free up another 4 infantry divisions. And we are improving the fighter defense doctrine. take a look at this. Okay, so this is now ahead of time. In that case, we should probably research this, bring this up to date. All these trainings are now... All these trainings are now current. Let's take them off, actually. We can later come back. Instead, let's knock off a few specific doctrines. And also let's scale back the officer training. I kind of like this one. Let's go through it systematically. So infantry is current. We could continue researching it, of course. I think we should get we should obtain the ability to train Marines. Let's see, armor is pretty much current, but of course we can continue researching it. We could develop self-propelled artillery and the tank destroyer. I think that's probably a very good idea. In terms of escorts, let's get started on improving our submarines. Capitals aren't a priority. We are improving bombers. Let's improve our sea attack for some planes. Industry. We have a few open issues here, especially now that it's 1940. I think these two should enjoy priority. Theory. These are all up to date. Let's cancel submarine engineering. Let's get started on nuclear research. This is a priority. And of course these doctrines. Spearhead HQs. I think we have to focus on land here. Naval isn't a priority. Air is being dealt with. We'll put everything into research right now. And then we'll see how things go. Despite losing convoys, the total number is still growing. Maybe we should prioritize building escorts. So that's mostly what we are losing, or where we're lower than on anything else. And we have to get started on the upgrades to our medium, to our armor divisions. So we will upgrade one brigade in each division to medium armor. And we'll swap out one armor regiment for a motorized infantry regiment. This is SS, but we're being attacked, our subs anyway. Immediately loses all organization, and well, this was the guy who took fresh command, so he only had half of the organization. I suppose we need to call him back. And hope that we don't lose him. Let's instead send Fechter. I don't know where Fechter. I guess over here. So we obtain one regiment from here. And we need one more. Say this one. We can pull out one from here. And one from here. And then we have of course, a lot of under strength motorized infantry divisions. So we have to think about what to do with those. And of course, division gets an ugly name. So far, it's still us losing convoys, and we are not sinking any of the enemies. It's already January 11. Let's check. The bombing has stopped. Here, we're not being bombed anywhere. It's nice to see. Okay. Now, of course, we will obtain 4 light armor regiments. I suppose we can make 2 more light armor divisions out of those. I think this is what we'll do. It's actually a good thing. So we actually need 2 extra regiments and some motorized support. Then we get 2 extra light armor divisions. th and the 17th armor division. I'll bring them over to here. Then we can form a new division in this area. So we'll probably end up dissolving one of the motorized infantry divisions, but I can definitely live with that. Let's move these armor divisions further north. Let's see, we can invite countries into the Axis. We can invite Italy. Italy declined somewhere during the last period, which was from summer 1939 to the end of the year 1939. I think it was somewhere in November when we last attempted to invite Italy. We can invite Japan. But I think historically the formation of the Axis first took place in Europe and only later Japan joined. Okay, so this is what a of course we also need to prioritize the upgrades. And even so, okay. So that means these divisions won't be ready, as far as I can tell, until mid-June 1940. I thought that wouldn't take that long, but that might be a problem. Eventually, because my idea was actually to launch an offensive against France rather soon. So maybe this whole upgrading idea wasn't the best. On the other hand, we will get 2 more armor divisions, light armor that is. So maybe we just have to work with what we have. Now we have a bunch of understrength motorized infantry here. How is it that it only accounts for 3 motorized infantry brigades? Where's the other one coming from? I'm not sure how that worked. Anyway, we have 2 armor divisions here. Let's do this. Like this. Then we have 2 extra motorized infantry regiments. One will go into this Waffen-SS standard. And then we have an extra regiment. Alright. We have some infantry here. So if the upgrade process doesn't finish in time, and that's definitely what it looks like, we actually only have 1, 2, that's 4, 6, 8 armor divisions available. That is not a whole lot. It's very unsatisfying. get some extra infantry from here. There is one more armor division here, so that will put us to 9. It's not exactly confidence inspiring. Oh, there is an extra one here. Nice. Okay, getting better. 12. Okay, I think we can work with 12. That should probably do the trick. Now, we have units to deploy an infantry brigade. We have an understrength infantry division somewhere. Aware of that. Let's see. I see, that's the Austrian 6th Infantry Division. We had the Pioneer Battalion. And we have researched airborne infantry, which frees a research project. Let's get started on these. Maybe should get started with the more problematic ones. Let's get started with artillery first. They're bombing the French, but of course it's not not having a big effect. But we are using our air capability, so it doesn't just sit around idly. We do have close air support. It isn't doing much. Our submarines I haven't heard from in a while. Should check in on those. So fighter defense works. What's going on? Where is all the that's one wing. They're currently attacking, and they are based in Frankfurt. And the other air fleet sits here. Let's send them to Frankfurt for a reserve. Oh, and then we have one here. One here. Move this one here instead. And then the 5th close air support air fleet as well. This way we have everyone up close to the front. Let's check the air map mode. There are some air battles over Germany, but no bombings. Okay, let's see what's going on terms of convoy, we are sinking some convoys. Very few, not very effective, unfortunately. In turn, we aren't taking too much damage. And the reserve fleets are being repaired. I don't know how useful reserve is for naval units, because submarines have a tendency to die long before they can make it to any friendly port. Problem is really going to be having enough forces. We will have to reduce strength a lot. I'm gonna have to move some divisions away. I think we should work with 2 divisions per province. There is another motorized. Okay, so this is where the extra motorized infantry regiment came. By the way, here we can merge. And extract 1 regiment. Same here. Extract 1 regiment, and then 1 regiment can go. This one can actually go back into the Waffen SS. The extra regiment from here can meet up with the motorized infantry division. That's somewhere. Where is it? Here. And then we have 2 motorized infantry divisions, and I think 12 armor divisions, and 4 are upgrading to medium armor. And then we roughly are where we want to be. How is the situation? Yeah, we're up to 150 convoys. Of course, we're still losing. We are building more escorts. 30 more are just about to come through. Another 40 should arrive in April. Let's add 1 convoy for good measure. Yep, The upgrades to medium armor will only be ready in June. Let's check in on the subs. Not taking too much damage. Except for this one. How? How is that possible? It's getting attacked again by a doom stack. That's probably, yeah, it already died. Nice. Nice. Oh, nice. We're not getting it replaced anytime soon. Yep, that's the sadness of submarine warfare in Hearts of Iron 3. What's going on? Is there an air battle here, or why do I see the French flag? I don't understand. Do the French still have planes based here, or what? But, how could they possibly? Or is this because I think when you hover the pointer over the airbase where the unit is based, you get actually the information of where the unit currently is attacking. Seems like 4318211. Yeah, okay. I never noticed that. As for having sunk like 2 transports, not even. We haven't sunk anything in the past 2 weeks. We've lost an entire flotilla. Seems fair. Another thing we want to do is first of all, create some command structure. I don't know if we probably don't need this army. But, we'll attach the cores to the manual HQ. And we probably should think about redeploying some divisions from the Soviet border. We should of course think about replacing some generals. So in my view, there shouldn't be any really good divisions on the Soviet border, so that's true for this infantry division. It's true for this mountain division. It's true for this one. And this one. And this one. Now, let's go through the commanders. Let's go bottom to top. We did finish the research of airborne infantry. So we should eventually start training airborne infantry. We have a skill 4 leader. We can leave him in post. Skill 4 is too high. We should also probably promote some leaders. I intend to frequently replace leaders. I think we can live with skill 2 leaders for the most part. That's acceptable. Okay. Now, probably promote some commanders. What about corps commanders? Let's free up some of those. Let's see, we have normally I like to promote from skill 3, you know. But these are all battle masters. I think I'm gonna use those for armor and motorized divisions mainly. Let's see, do we have any high ranking corps commanders? in the 5th Army, skill 3, 2, 3, and 3. I'm going to free some commanders here in the east. Fifth Army commanded by an old guard. I think we need to reform some of that as well. Model is a corps commander. He's our highest ranking current corps commander. I think I will do the promotions after we freed all the officers. We don't. Let's not replace. Can we? Let's see. Do we have a somewhat good corps commander that we can promote? Maybe a rank 3 or skill 3 is what I mean. Or no experience. We want someone with a little bit of experience. Doesn't seem to exist. Let's promote Boyson. He's a division commander. We can promote him to corps commander. Here we have a few people. We have a rank 4, skill 4. Could be an army commander. Let's also promote Bush. In that case, let's promote Heights, and he'll command 5th Army. Leave the army group commander in command for now. How about 3rd Army? I think we replace the commanders here. We need to replace some corps commanders. Okay. Let's go through the western part. Let's find highly skilled commanders. We'll have a mixed bag here as well because, of course, the western command wasn't important in case white. So I had mostly low skilled commanders in the west. There's a skill 5 here. Will definitely become core commander. How about the core commander, skill 2 military engineer, skill 4 school of defense, and a skill 5 from Kluge. And Kluge will become army commander. War 4. Those are in divisions that are upgrading right now. Three, two, three, three. Nothing too spectacular. There is a skill 4 who will soon reach skill 5. Let's see if we have somebody else that's good. Maybe a commando logistics expert. Four, three, four. These are pretty good. These are all pretty good. That's pretty much an elite core. Yeah, we'll leave him. He will soon obtain skill 5, so we'll leave him in place. 6th army. I'll have to reorganize anyway, but I think that's the first step of reorganizing, and then we have a lot of leaders here. We have some good army commanders. 1, 3, and then 2, 4, and 1, 5er. I think the main offensive to France should be carried from 2 armies. Let's see, what do we have in the west? We already have 4 armies in the west. 4 armies, 16 corps, 76 divisions. Okay. Yeah, well, we have to think about deployment. It's now the end of January. We're still moving divisions. I kind of want to attack as early as possible. I'm thinking, let's check out the weather, but I'm thinking end of March. That's actually my... Where's the weather map mode? So right now we're below 0. Pressure is regular, so it's kind of clear sky. It's a bit warmer towards the coast. Yeah, so my plan is, or my idea is to attack towards towards the end of March. This province isn't fortified, but they do have a lot of units here. Another idea would be to punch through Maastricht, bypass the Belgian forts in this province, but then there is Brussels. And I, of course, always like to have options. I am moving a lot of units away. I didn't mean to move all these divisions. It's meant to keep some divisions close by, in case the French get the idea to attack again here. Have some. We have a number of infantry divisions close by. I would say right now, without drawing any more divisions away from the border, we have about 3 corps of infantry and about 2.5 corps of armor. Whichever way we move. And breaking into the Netherlands is pretty easy. With tanks across the Dutch border here. But then the problem starts in Belgium again, with these rivers and fortifications and the city Brussels. And we don't even have airborne infantry, which we could use to drop on Brussels or in the rear. So we kind of have to rely on pure breakthrough power. And with the number of divisions here, we have to. I think we have to start spying on Belgium and the Netherlands to find out how they are deployed. We don't have any spies ready, so that's not likely to happen anytime soon. There is definitely a large number of forces here. I think it would be easier to punch through the Dutch defenses. So then I would go for the next best alternative, which is to punch through Maastricht and then see if we can bypass Brussels and penetrate the French defenses here. Let's see if we can use our medium bombers as reconnaissance. Or we could actually use naval bombers. I will have the naval bombers attack in this area. Maybe this way we can find out what's going on. First they fly here. They don't change where they're flying. I'm gonna order them to attack ports in Calais. How are the other subs doing? Not bad, but they're not sinking any targets. So the British probably aren't running any targets in this area. I'm gonna see if I can get my subs to go elsewhere. Seems that they will do that. That's 8 armor, 10 light armor divisions. Thought I had some additional armor divisions somewhere. Let's need 2 here. 4, 8, 10. I think that's it. That's the 10 that we have. Building up some transports. Still losing some rares, although the losses have been reduced. I'm not sure I can tell the trade AI. We'll continue buying more. I'm going to tell it to increase rares. In the United States, the Great Depression is almost over. We're producing a very modest supply in oil. Now February 1st, let's try we can invite Italy into the faction again. We are sinking some transports again. And Italy accepts to join the Axis. Okay, so that should open some possibilities. For instance, it immediately allow us to redeploy some divisions. and the Italian puppet of Ethiopia signs the anti-Comintern pact. That should free up another roughly 4 divisions of infantry. And then we have this corps. And another 4 divisions, so that's 8. So things are starting to look acceptable. And we said we would also think about an offensive on Norway. We don't have Marines. However, we do have a number of mountain infantry. I can't seem to find right now. I think we have one is here. Let's extract these for the moment. Some of them are, yeah. Some more are on the way here. 3 more. Be precise. And I think they would be suited as well. So we think we have 4 divisions of mountain infantry. At this moment. So instead of Marines, we can use mountain infantry, of course, because they would be suited for the climate and the terrain. So I could see 2 mountain infantry divisions and about 4 divisions of regular infantry. I don't see any armor going to Norway. And unfortunately we don't have airborne infantry, and if I start training them, they will definitely not be ready for a potential offensive on Norway. And if we convert them from regular infantry which we could. I have no idea. However, I do actually feel like taking one infantry division and converting it into airborne infantry. And we also do have a paratroop here. We will actually do that. Of course, they won't be able to participate in, I believe it was called Case Red, the attack on France. Let's see. They would be ready by July. They don't take as long to upgrade. They still do take some time. So we have an infantry division upgrading. Should probably rename this division the first. The first airborne division. I'm also not sure divisions that are upgrading, can they move? Japan and the Soviet Union clash in the battles of Khalkhin Gol in the Far East, and we are sinking Allied transports. Yeah, so they aren't able to move at this moment. I think it's percentage based because I think I can move divisions that were only one regiment. So yeah, it's actually possible. Okay, so our first airborne infantry division will be ready by mid-July, which is too late for Norway, so we'll have to do without airborne infantry there. And Xinjiang asks to join the Comintern, and the Soviet Union accepts. Now, I did want to check in on China. Ooh, Japanese are making very fast progress. Which is probably why Xinjiang asked to join the Comintern. Otherwise, no territory has changed hands in the Soviet-Japanese clashes. People's Republic fell to Japan, but there is a counterattack going on from Shibei Sanma. At least one province changed hands, but I think Japan is having great success in the Far East. I'm going to end this mission because they are attacking very far away. So now what I want to do is I want to port strike. Calais. But that means they fly. Okay, so they don't fly. They don't fly over neutral territory. Italy is mobilizing. I think one thing that we can already notice in the D patch is improved AI builds. So if you look at this, although these divisions don't seem to have support except maybe for an infantry division. Here I believe we will have 2 infantry divisions, 3 inf regiments, and each a support brigade. Now in this province, support is rare, so the AI still likes to build divisions without support. Apologize, I had to sneeze. Or it has to do with the starting OPMS, not incorporating support brigades. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm detaching some divisions, especially those that are in the front line. Will be reattached according to our needs. We have the Eastern Charco Seamount, where we are losing some transports. We have a support regiment. a whole bunch of divisions to reattach over here. Okay. At least detach all of those. Okay. Okay. So 2 corps take care of the stretch from the Swiss border to Karlsruhe. And then we have 2, 6, 10, 14, 15 divisions here, roughly, which necessitates about 3 core HQs, which we have. We have the 15, 12, and 10. This one over here can be detached. That's a 10th. Okay, so that's the 10th. We have a total of 4 divisions here. This one will attach to 12. By the way, this one, I looked it up, so this one has to be 19th Army Corps. Has to be designated like this. Okay. The 12th Army Corps. It will all be attached to the 12th. Okay. And then all of these to the 15th. They are finally counterattacking. I don't know if looks like we might lose another flotilla. Let's see if we can escape. Let's see if we can come back and rebuild. Or the other, this one is fine. Do we have any other? Going on? We lost one. We're down to 6. Okay. For some reason it likes to go through the channel. I'm not sure that's a good idea. I should check again on the air map mode. Nope, no enemy bombings on our territory. We're getting bombed further. Let's see if we can maybe escape through the Irish Sea. It would be nice if I didn't have to micromanage submarine flotillas. Unfortunately, we lose a trade agreement with the Americans. We are depleting our stockpiles a little bit, but somewhat acceptable. Yep, our medium armor divisions are still won't be ready. Not in time anyway. So somebody's convoy hunting. Basically on our doorstep. Also over here, of course. Pretty intensively. I will have a air fleet of naval bombers on naval strike duty. Okay, and the Soviet Union and Japan decide now to escalate the conflict in the Far East. There's a small Soviet fleet in the Skagerrak, 2 battleships and 3 destroyers. Let's see if we can find this British Commerce Raider, whatever it is. Okay, the border is starting to look good. And we have some spare headquarters to work with. Let's move them west and north. Okay. So the 2nd and 4th Army will be in charge of defense. And then we have 2 more armies, 6th and 1st. They will be tasked with the attack, which I see chiefly going through here. Let's make a new plan. What shall we name our operations, our plans? Historically, Germany, of course, used colors for large-scale operations. Sometimes they use other names. Soviets used planets. We could use German cities. We could use car brands. We could use animals. Kind of like that. Let's use animals. So they will be semi-ironic. So we'll call this one Schnecke, which translates to snail. I see something like this. Unfortunately, there are the choice is pretty limited. I'm gonna use arrows as they are classically. Actually, they shouldn't be red. They should be red. Is always the enemy. Let's see. Can we delete that? Okay, now let's paint in blue with blue arrows. one attack will be this way, and another attack will look like this. Of course, we will have to deal. Now we can switch over to red. We'll have. I didn't mean to switch my own attack over. I guess it isn't possible to select color beforehand. Of course, we'll have to deal with counterattacks. This is bad. Something like this. Eventually like this. And here. Should be red. We have to reckon with counterattacks, which is why we need to have infantry ready. Okay, let's save this for the moment. So we need to have infantry ready. We also need to defend, of course, here. So I'll use these dashed lines to indicate defensive positions or deployments. Okay, so that's the first phase. Unfortunately, this enemy attack changed color again. I think we'll leave it like this. This is how I see the current attack on France, which is named Schnecke. Okay, now we can also add a plan. Let's what shall we call the attack on Norway? Historically, they were called Weserübung Süd and Nord for south and north, and Weser is a river in Germany. We call them Ice Bear. It's sort of obvious. So why don't we call it the small one will be called Desert Fox. That's Denmark. And then we will also let's call Norway Antelope. I suppose Desert Fox shouldn't be called Desert Fox, we'll give it a German name. Let's call it Desert Fox. I know how I got it. It's probably by association. Of course, Rommel was called Desert Fox. Let's go for a different name. What other small animal lives in the desert? Typical desert dweller. Would maybe be a snake. Let's call it just Schlange. Yeah. Okay, so let's draw Schlange. We'll have two main offensives. One will secure the north, and one will, of course, secure Copenhagen. This could potentially also be a landing. I think there are. There's a symbol, although not a correct one technically. For a landing, I can apply this, and then there is no real. They should be. Of course, they should be blue. As well as this one. Then of course we will defend here. Copenhagen. And maybe this port. We should be all set. Actually, no, let's not do that. Because that's a different plan, which is active. Okay, let's save Schlange. Can we deactivate? I don't know if all plans are active at the same time. That has to be the case, or if they can be toggled off somehow. Hide the current plans. It doesn't hide them. I don't understand. Okay, let's go into Antelope. We're in blue. Okay, let's we'll of course land in Oslo. I think we should land in Bergen. Don't think we can move icons afterwards, so let's see if we can place them a little better. We'll land in Bergen and in I'm not sure about Trondheim. I think Trondheim should be reached from either Oslo or Bergen. I think we should try to do it with only 3 landings. We'll also have to look at the details in terms of transports and the cover that we can provide, which won't be that much because of because we haven't bothered to expand our fleet. So we'll have to see. Maybe we should limit ourselves to a landing in the south and then only fight our way northwards. Maybe that's the way to go. But for now, let's plan with 3 landings. So one push will be along the coast on both sides to secure southern Norway. One push will be this way to Trondheim and one this way. And when Trondheim is reached, we can push along the coast here. And from here we should secure this airfield. Later the Finnish border. And we'll have a small push here out of Trondheim as well. I think this way we can work. Of course, the landing zones have to be defended. We'll push out of them as soon as we can. That's pretty much what I think we can work with. These are all current plans, but I'm not sure I can toggle off individual plans. I can toggle off all of them, I guess, yeah. So it's now mid-February. Theoretically, I want to attack in a month and a half. So I have to see if that's possible. There are a couple of things we have to do, of course, which one of which is reassigning leaders to individual divisions. It's quite an impressive force build up along the border. It's a lot of divisions. So, for example, in in this province, I see a cavalry division, at least 2 infantry divisions, and about 1.5 armor divisions. It's quite something. It's over here, an infantry division and a marine infantry division. The good thing is our fighters don't have a lot to do right now. We'll put the small fleet in reserve. Let's see what's over here. Let's interdict in this area. Actually, let's ground attack. So there are some units here. Infantry divisions mainly. This one consists of... Oh, that's only one actually. One infantry division. We're fighting British fighters. But we are bombing quite effectively. They do take some damage from the fighters. Getting disorganized fast. I don't know when they will swap in fresh fighters or fresh bombers. That's a lot of losses here. Okay. For whatever reason, we thought it smart to basically risk a wing, even though I put it on defensive. I'm not sure that's very smart. Let's count our chicken. So we have 2 infantry divisions here. 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, 17, 18, 23, 24, 25, 'We'll have to secure the whole border here. I suppose we have to take out Amsterdam as well. There's no other way. We have to take the Dutch out of the war. We'll have to change plans. Because we can't have a long front here fighting the Belgians and the Dutch and the French in the south. So we have to take out the Dutch and the Belgians and then attack into France. But I think that's worth the pain. Okay, but we're looking at roughly 5 corps of infantry available for the offensive, and let's make sure again. 4, 6, 8, 10 armor divisions. About 2 motorized divisions. Should be possible. Should be possible. Although the AI won't be able to do it. I'll have to do it manually. Let's see how production is going. We'll get 3 more infantry divisions by the end of March, which would be a reason to wait until then at least. If we can blitz, then everything is great. If we can't blitz, we'll see. And maybe at least we can take out the Dutch and the Belgians out of the equation. The front won't be longer because we'll actually be shortening it. Luxembourg will be in the way as well. Let's see, did myself made it back? We still have 6 sub-flotillas. I think some are under construction, a total of 3 that they will take until mid-year. And then we have the 3 destroyer flotillas. They will be ready by... Oh, they will also be ready by July. But where's the Bismarck? Ah, Bismarck's here. This will take quite long. We should have started earlier, I think. Yep. Anyway, then in an extreme case, in an emergency case, we have about 6 additional infantry divisions that we can pull out from here. among these 3 provinces, 1 additional infantry corps, maybe. Yeah, we just have to be smart about blitzing. That's the critical part of the whole business. We can also technically losing some transports and escorts. Technically, we have additional divisions that we can block the Soviet border. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. About 8 infantry divisions. So that will give us 6 additional corps to deal with or to work with. The question is also the phasing or the timing. Do we when are Antilope and or Schlange and Antilope happen? That's something I think they should happen. Schnecke, Schlange should happen at the same time. Denmark won't put up too much of a fight. And then Antilope should be launched immediately after. Maybe roughly when the first Danish provinces have fallen. I think Denmark should capitulate quick within a day or 2. So maybe, yeah, I think they should happen all more or less simultaneously. That will make it hard for the enemy to react. Yeah, I think overall would be better to have a slightly bigger navy. Maybe two more light cruisers and more destroyer flotillas. That would help. And we have an additional submarine flotilla here. Unfortunately, we're not sinking a lot of convoys right now. I'm going to send in additional subfleet. Not being very effective. Yeah. Slightly bigger navy would help, and some medium armor. We should, with the help of our medium bombers. I think lost their place quite quickly, I have to say. With the help of the medium bombers, I think. Oh no, it was this one here. Yeah. The US cancel another trade agreement for metal and rares. Yeah, rares will become an issue if we can't do anything about it, but I think we can eventually. We'll be able to do something about rares. Might take some more time. Okay, so we definitely have to adjust Schnecke. I think we need something like Schnecke 1, 2, and 3. And Schnecke 1 and 2 should assert secure supply lines, and that we don't have to fight on too long of a front. And of course all these ports, so our rear areas are secure. And end of March is maybe a bit too ambitious with all the planning and deployment. These are breakthrough divisions. They have engineer battalions. We do have more infantry. These two, we'll use them as reserve divisions in case the French try anything here. That would be extremely annoying if we had to deal with them with the second Saarland offensive. We'll have to keep some reserves. Let's have a number of divisions here. Maybe we should leave this. We should keep this deck around here. We have a few very good leaders here. The leaders will be switched around anyway. Okay. In another almost 3 hours, the pace is slowing down a bit. That's only because I want to make this work. I also have to keep in mind that we are playing it hard, so I expect it to be quite a bit more difficult. That's why I'm being very peculiar here with everything. Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream. I want to thank everybody who stopped by or who's watching it later, and we'll continue probably tomorrow night. So thanks, and I'll see you soon.